This again. I'm Joe. So I went down to Child Services. My daughter's graduating June 2nd. Her birthday's in August. Wanted to find out when my child support was going to end forever. Completely done. Turns out it's going to be her birthday because Child Services says, well, no, it wouldn't be fair to take the money away just because she graduated. Anyway, I got to think about their college money is what I got to think about. And I know that that's coming up. So I got one at University of Michigan, and this one's going to be going to Kent. And she's already been asking me for money. So, yeah, it would be fair to my child if my child support would end, because then she would get the money directly and not her mom. I'm just saying. So there's my thought on that one. Anyway. Life is kind of interesting. So they explained to me how the child support calculations work. Apparently, they take the amount of time, the amount of money you would have earned if you worked 6 months, if you worked less than 6 months in a year. So anytime you've worked at least one job full time for even 1 week, they will take that week's paycheck, or if it's a 2-week pay period, it has to be the full pay period. They will take that full pay period paycheck. They will estimate 6 months of you earning that money. So let's say you go through 5 jobs, but only one of them you worked for a full 2 weeks, and it just happened to be the one that you made the most money in. They're going to estimate your earnings at that full 2-week paycheck times whatever equals 6 months. So it's going to be 26 weeks of pay, essentially. And they're going to say that is what your annual income is going to be based on. Which in reality it's interesting. So they don't estimate that as an annual they estimate that as a 6-month salary. Unless you make more than that, then they actually take it by what your taxes end up being. So if you earn more than what 6 months of a salary is, they base it on that. On top of that, they add in an average for any overtime that you've had throughout the last 3 years. So let's say 1 year you worked 1,000 hours of overtime, and 1 year you worked 200 years of overtime, and another year you didn't have any. You're going to get another 400 hours of overtime pay rolled in for that average, for that estimate. And that is, folks, is how they calculate your child support pay. So I only had 4 months of employment last year, and they based it on 6 months of employment, which I said was fraudulent in my mind, is my full-time employment. I worked as an extra on Chicago Med. One day I could have worked a whole week, but as it turned out, my relatives were in Florida the week that I got called up to go do Chicago Med, so I didn't have any place to stay for the week. So I just turned around and drove home after the first day. Good overall experience, though. Great people. Anyway, as an extra, you earn $88 a day unless they're using your vehicle, and then typically it's like $150. You don't get paid for mileage. That's why they try to book only local vehicles, because if they pay mileage, they only want to pay people that are like 3-4 miles away from the shoot. I mean, it's budget. That's how you save money. In reality, it would be great if they had a little bit higher earnings, like, $20 an hour for an extra would be really good. I realize there's a lot of hurry up and wait. So, somewhere in between there would be better than where it's at now. I actually lost $50 because of tolls and everything, but only because I couldn't work those consecutive days. If I would have gotten to work those consecutive days like originally planned, I would have actually made like maybe a $400 profit that week, something like that, which is not that great. Well, that would have been $300 and some dollars, but still, it would have made my truck payment, so it would have been worth it. Being unemployed, you hustle to do whatever you want. After that, I filed for my unemployment because I was like, you know what? I haven't got a job. Being an extra doesn't pay that much money. I'm going to just file the unemployment. I don't have a choice. Then I ended up finding a grant that actually was making my house payment, which was amazing. And that's good till September. But since they don't do the extensions on unemployment anymore, I won't be able to get an extension on the grant, even though I have, I'm definitely eligible, would have been eligible to get the grant extended had I not been able to find a job. Wow, I'm sorry this is so long. But anyway, I got to close this out with the lady said, I said to the lady, I go, wait, so you're estimating my gross income based on months that I wasn't able to work because I was terminated from my job? And I go, that's like saying, well, you could teleport if you were a fairy, then you could teleport. And she said, well, if you were, you could. And it was funny. I gotta say, it was pretty funny. So anyway, talk to you later.